Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Variety Podcast. What's up? How's it going? I'm Josh, and I am joined by two people. First off, we have Hayden Revenger Rafferty.
Yes. Hey, I didn't know I made it. I didn't know I made it into the Revengers. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to have been accepted.
Have you wanted revenge before?
Huh?
Have you wanted revenge before? I know you wanted revenge before.
Never. I'm not a vengeful person.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And over here we have instead of Hannah, we have Matthew Mephisto Burton.
Why I gotta be Mephisto? Wait a minute, hold up.
We still haven't gotten Mephisto anywhere.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Mephisto is being referenced here in the instead of being alluded to, like everyone thinks he's in the MCU, but yeah, it's Matt. It's been Matt the whole time.
Bruh, like isn't he basically the Marvel devil?
He is a high-ranking demon.
Why would you give me that?
You can ask them. I've given them weird names.
I mean, I've listened to the podcast, so I know.
Yeah.
But Mephisto of all things,
it was Marvel. It worked. Just like Revenger was like that. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
We just kind of.
What's up, people? I'm back. It's good to be here. I can't wait to get into this. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. And speaking of, and we're glad to have you back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Speaking of getting into it, we didn't say what we're talking about yet, did we?
Well, I would hope with all the Marvel references that they would see we were talking about something MC related. And we're talking about What If. Hannah couldn't join us this week. She's still kind of got some stuff going on. Something about trying to break a fixed point in time. I'm sure it won't have anything to do with our reality or any consequences,
I knew she was working on the time machine. I knew it. I said it since the first day I met her. She's going to work on the time machine.
All the physics majoring she does. Yeah. But we're talking about the What If show that just wrapped its first season. We all watched it, and we all have our thoughts that we want to share. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love multiverse, alternate timeline stuff, and if you listen to the podcast, you've heard a lot of us talk about that a lot in the show.
I personally loved it. One of the things that I love so much about it is that I was under the impression we were only getting one episode of Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. I was under the impression we only get one episode. We ended up with like 4 or 5, which I thought was great, and all of them were great. Every episode 1 through 9 was amazing, but like those 4 I thought were really good.
Yeah. I didn't realize that he was going to be in it. Maybe I missed that somewhere, but I was really very happy with those, and that was awesome to know that he was still able to voice those episodes.
Yeah. A lot of the MCU characters weren't voiced by their on-screen actors, but I'm glad that he got that was kind of our last hurrah with him, and in a role that was more fun than his than his Black Panther, than his role as Black Panther.
He was way more comedic, like not as serious, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I was actually also rather surprised at how many, you say not all of them, but there were a lot of the characters that were voiced by their live action actors. Which some of them I really didn't expect. Like Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth voiced their characters, right?
I'm pretty sure Chris Hemsworth did, but I'm not sure Natalie Portman did. Someone can probably fact check that when they get.
It may not have been Natalie Portman, but I remember thinking there was something about her. But yeah, there were a few where I was very surprised about.
I thought it was so cool, and a lot, like if you listened to the podcast before, you know that I'm an MMA fighter. So for them to bring George St. Pierre back to voice Batroc
the Leaper.
Yeah, to have them bring him back to voice him was really cool to me, because I figured he'd be just a movie presence, but when I saw his name in the opening credits, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah. even for just one episode or a few lines, it's enough to be. It means a lot to us who've been watching since Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your? Do you have like a single favorite episode, or what was your favorite what was your favorite idea that they used for a what if?
Let's see.
Whether it was done the best it could have been or not.
I'm looking at. Let's see. I like, of course, what if T'Challa became a Star-Lord.
Mhm.
I liked the Doctor Strange episode of him losing his heart instead of his hands. Let's see. I did enjoy the Killmonger one as well, and I liked the Ultra Vision episode too. I really liked that one. I thought that they all had like seeing like Killmonger get to fulfill his dream. Even it's a bad way of calling it, but going through finishing his mission to become Prince of Wakanda and get control of Wakanda and fulfill and go out for his mission. Despite how bad it was, I liked we got to see T'Challa work with like the outer space crew, like the people from Guardians and Thanos and all those other characters. And then I liked seeing how bad it could be with Vision, with Ultron Vision having all in the Infinity Stones and fighting the Watcher. That was just the baddest episode.
Yeah,
Right.
And seeing evil and seeing corrupt Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that to me, as much as I love T'Challa and Black Panther and all, like I love everything Marvel, but like Black Panther really hits home for me. But that was probably my favorite episode, was the Doctor Strange episode, because it showed like what he was willing to do for love, and then to try to correct it every time, and it just kept getting worse and worse until he just like Josh said, lost his heart. I thought that was really cool. One of the things I thought was really cool was in the Ultron Vision episode, Ultron just takes out Thanos with the Soul Stone, and I'm like, bro, you can do that?
The Mind Stone, yeah.
Yeah, because there was the Mind Stone.
Yeah, the Mind Stone, and I'm just like, why didn't they do that? Like, they can do that?
Well, if you think about it, he went for the head.
Yeah, he did.
That's the difference between Thanos and Thor. Thanos goes for the head.
You mean Ultron or Ultron Vision and Thor?
I'm sorry. That was just the difference in Infinity War. That was the difference between Thanos and Thor. Yeah. Yeah. Thanos went for Vision's head immediately.
Oh yeah. I guess they both had the same idea. Go for the head.
Oh, I also did like how, in the Hawkeye and Black Widow episode, the roles were kind of reversed, where we saw an Endgame where Natasha sacrificed herself, but in the episode,
Mm-hmm.
in the What If episode, it was the other way around, where Hawkeye sacrificed himself for her.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat little twist they put on.
Yeah, he went out RPG. That was
episode in general, just like that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because that was where, well, that was the first time near the end when they showed like, oh, this is not over. This is not its own story. This is connecting to everything else.
Yeah.
I love that moment too, where we see where the Watcher is talking, and then Vision or Ultron's just like, wait, who said that?
Yeah.
I was like, I was watching that, and like when he did that, I go, I'm like, oh no.
It's like having a like you're like watching while watching a kid, and you're talking about something that you like they won't catch this reference, or they won't understand what I'm talking about at all, and then they kind of like give you feedback on what you said, and like, oh shoot.
Yeah, like
Like you
snap.
can understand what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
And the same, and also in the Doctor Strange episode, like he was able to start to sense the Watcher as he got more, overpowered.
Yeah, and again, like, as he was like, I think it was as the universe, was like crumbling in on itself, or kind of coming on him. I think that was it then where he was like, "Hey, you can help me. You can stop this."
It was actually like twice he sensed him before, like while he was working on like learning how to absorb magical creatures, and he sensed him, but he couldn't exactly tell. It was like hearing a whisper for him, and Watcher was like, "Oh crap." Kind of like how Thor was when Cap was able to like slightly nudge, like to like move the hammer a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he was like, then when Strange like finally like looked up and was like able to focus on him, it was like, help me save my world. It's like, no man, you did it, you did this yourself. I ain't fixing up your mess.
Yeah. But again, that was a good episode. That one also took a turn that I didn't expect. The Doctor Strange one, when he it's like, what if he lost his heart instead of his hands? I'm like,
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he's going like to a whole other place here.
Yeah, he went way off the deep end.
Yeah, way off the deep end.
I'm just gonna eat all as many magical beings and just absorb all of them into my body like still.
Quick confirmation: Natalie Portman did voice her character.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought so, because when I was watching the episode, I was like, I don't think that's Natalie Portman, but I don't feel she has a particularly distinctive voice.
Right.
So watching
also it's voice acting, so they sound a little bit different anyway than they would live action, because I kept telling myself, I kept going back and forth on Chadwick's performance. I'm like, it sounds like him, but then again, it kind of doesn't. But I'm chalking that up to it being voice acting,
right?
Because I knew it was him.
Yeah,
but it sounded slightly different.
Yeah,
but only slightly.
Because someone you can do like that accent, but it was him for that, like him, Natalie Portman, and some other characters like that. It was them, but they're all people that voice matched, like the people who did Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, and Natasha's characters. Like those are the people who sound a lot like them, right. And the person who did Ultron, because that wasn't James Spader,
right?
Though that would have been dope if he came back.
Yeah, but yeah, so it sounds like we all pretty much. I feel like the best one was, and again, even saying best is kind of difficult, but I feel like we all kind of agree on the Doctor Strange one.
Yeah.
Just because, again, like it surprised me too. As I was saying, he was just like so nonchalant about the whole thing. Like, okay, I'm just gonna consume all these demons and stuff and creatures. It's like,
okay, off an evil demon, and I was like,
I'm not gonna eat you, but I will take your cake.
Yeah, nice cake. Give me that. Do y'all want to go, since we talked about favorite episode, do y'all want to talk about favorite moment from the show in general?
Favorite moments.
Sure, yeah, I have to think about that for a second.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
Let's hear. What you got?
What you got, Matt?
Okay, so one of my favorite moments was the fight between Watcher and Ultron Vision, because I was like, because we always see the Watcher watching, but like his whole thing is I can't interfere, but then when he actually has to fight for himself, he just goes all out, and it was like
God mode activated.
Yeah, that was super cool for me. And then like when Ultron's talking about you don't have the will to fight me, and Watcher's like, you can't even fathom my will, I was like, this got real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it went straight like anime fight / God versus God fight.
Yeah, that got pretty crazy, because I was kind of like, at first I was just thinking like, I mean, I'm sure the Watcher is powerful, but he probably doesn't have much in terms of like fighting ability. And then it's like, oh no, he can do some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he has to fight other like beings like him, so that's why he kind of backed out of the fight. But that was an awesome like fight. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in live action.
No, I don't think we will either.
No. Do you have any other moments that you were like?
I have like two more. The Gamora in the Thanos gear, that was really cool to me just because it just added to her badassness, and I was just like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And then
That was supposed to be an episode by itself, but they're gonna move that to season 2.
gotcha.
So we will see helicopter blades, Gamora, who and figure out what all happened with her in the next season.
Yeah.
And then there was one more that I wanted to talk about. If I think about it, y'all can come back to me, but y'all go ahead because I cannot remember it right now for the life of me.
You know, I've only seen it once through so far. I should rewatch the whole thing all the way through, just to
I
get
tried to pay attention to as much detail as I could because I knew like little things were gonna pop up with it being alternate timeline stuff. So I tried to pay as much attention as I could.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I watched the last episode twice just to make sure I had it.
Yeah, each episode had callbacks to other like scenes in the movies and lines in the movies.
Yeah. So you know, I did like the. Yeah, that was the one. I liked the. I was almost going to call it the Tony Stark one, but it was more the Killmonger one.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting, just all around, seeing how he did, because you know he's pretty awesome, I will say.
Yeah. Killmonger is an nth level chess player. Like
Yeah.
he went from, and like it was bad enough where he was like in like the main MCU timeline, but he started early, like before anything else, any other heroes got to Earth or got on the ground. Like he started with Iron Man, who started everything in the movies, and he worked his way through, and he just twisted everything to how he wanted to go.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
Like Killmonger's one of those characters for me, like you love him, but it's like, dude, you don't have to do it this way.
Yeah.
Like there's another way.
Yeah.
Like don't do that. But like he's great.
Yeah.
And apparently he's supposed to be coming back with Black Panther 2 somehow. I
Um,
saw an article about that, but I don't know how true it is.
yeah.
But I remember one of my other favorite moments. Me and Josh have talked about this, where in the If T'Challa Was Star-Lord episode, when they're all in that bar and Thanos just walks up and they're all just buddy with them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, T'Challa helped me see the error of my ways," and blah blah blah.
We had a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, that's funny, but what? I thought it just kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It's like having a conversation, sitting Hitler down, having a conversation with him. It's like we
Yeah.
had talked, and now we work things out. He has a better understanding now. But Thanos still had that inkling of that idea that he still liked to toss that theory around. Like, what if we just kill half the universe population and there would be more resources? But
that was an interesting thing about Thanos, in that one, because you do feel like, well, he's not a threat anymore. He's helping to get us, but then he comes back with that stuff, and so you're like, okay, I really hope he can continue to keep Thanos in line.
It's like, buddy, we talked about this. We talked about this. Let it go.
It's like he still has that idea, like maybe it seems like a good idea, but it's like everybody like, no, dude, that's genocide. It's killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kills people.
Yeah, you're right.
But
But
it was just, in general, it was all really interesting. I thought, the so much of the Doctor Strange episode had some really cool moments, just when you see him, like, really, like, you really see his physical change.
yeah.
And I mean, also, though, I'm trying not to give so much credit to the final episode, just because I feel like it's too easy almost.
Oh yeah.
Because there was so much in that episode.
Yeah. It was, that whole episode was great because it had so much action and so much of all the the characters he chose, who became the Guardians of the Multiverse, they were all like, you know, like stacked characters who could do a whole lot, and they all of them together teaming up on, I call them Ultravision, just like mollywopping him through for a good few minutes, and it was just like, wow, they're like, yeah, it could have only been them to stop him.
And this is one thing that I wanted to say about the last episode, because like you said, Hayden, I'm trying not to give it so much credit, but the end of it with Killmonger doing what he did, I'm like, bro, come on.
It was
this is supposed to be alternate version of you. You don't have to do the same thing. Like, do something different, please.
Man, his like, if Thor hadn't brought that sentry, that drone head there, and then seeing him look at it and him seeing him tinker with them, I was like, but you immediately forget about it as the action starts building up, as they're just fighting to get the stones away from him. And then as soon as he walks and then he holds it up, it's like, oh no, oh no.
I said, he's going to use it for good, and nothing bad is going to come out after this. After they beat Ultravision, I'm like, it'll be good. And then he did what he did, and I'm like,
dude, you couldn't just no.
You couldn't just left it alone.
Yeah.
At least he won't have to go back. At least he's not going to cause more problems in the universe he came from.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines was T'Challa being like, "What are you doing, cousin?" And he's like, "I'm not your cousin. Sorry." And then tries to blow everybody up.
Like, you're gonna kill your cousin again? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Shit.
2 episodes I don't think we've had we talked about a lot. They stand out, but they're not like, I guess they don't stand out as much. But the kind of the whodunit episode where all the Avengers die during Fury's big week.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
Yeah.
That was a really good.
I was like, who's killing these people? And then it kind of dawned on me, like, I really didn't get it until like he went to Hope's gravesite. It's like, oh crap, it's Hank.
Yeah.
And but I wasn't expecting him to be in the yellow jacket suit either.
Right.
I think that was the moment that we all were like, yep, it's Hank.
Yeah. God dang it, Hank.
Yeah. We should have said spoilers before we started this, but
we'll put that in the episode description.
We will. Yeah, we.
Hayden will do that. Yeah.
I will. Yeah, no, that was a good one. It made me think of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
All those, what if Punisher kills, Deadpool kills, Wolverine kills, they all get just murked in the worst ways. Like, I was not expecting, like, I was really surprised when Hulk exploded. It's like that they can do that.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
How did someone kill Hulk? Like, damn.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. That threw me for a loop. I was like, huh? What? Okay. All right.
What is happening?
I will say this. I would love to see a Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe like series, or like animated series or movie, because I just think that would be wild.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I think
it would be.
too.
It would be.
Especially if they stick to the comic book. I actually have the comic book at home.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I've read it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it.
And I would also love to see Deadpool versus Black Panther. That's one I'm reading right now, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, I just think we need Deadpool actually in the MCU finally.
He's in there. I just, how are they gonna introduce him in there, like as for crossovers or for his solo thing? Like, that's the question.
He pops up just a fanboy out.
That would be cool. Like, if at the end of No Way Home he like pops in through a portal somehow.
Yeah, and just fanboys out.
Or in like Doctor Strange 2, that would be dope.
I'm sorry, did you see Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah.
Okay, we don't necessarily need to go into those spoilers, but that post-credit scene.
Woo!
Yeah. I was like, I wonder what it could be exactly. But it was like, okay, this builds on some things that I was not expecting to happen for a minute.
Yeah,
So-
you know, it's still, even after though, I feel like it leaves you in a place where you're like, what?
Yeah.
So this
What and how?
Yeah. So we were sitting there in the theater watching it, and see, we had already been told to stay, which we were gonna do anyway, but we got told, reassured to stay. And so like we were watching it, and then we both just look at each other, we're like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, game changer.
Yep, absolute game changer.
Yep.
Again, that will be saved for another time. Venom or Let There Be Carnage is still relatively new, so we'll get into that a little later in the year, maybe when we recap this year in MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, still going forward, we have, is it three movies?
Just two more movies: Eternals and No Way Home. This year.
I thought there was another one.
No, Shang-Chi came out last month, and Eternals comes out next month, and Spider-Man comes out in December.
I don't know what the other one I was imagining was this year.
I don't know either. Well,
Maybe
we do have the Hawkeye series.
Yeah, that's in like a week or two, right?
I think end of November or end of this or somewhere in December. I'm not exactly sure.
I thought it was in October.
I don't think it's October. I'm pretty sure it's November or December. It had like a holiday theme to it, so yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can do that. You can start in October and then lead into that.
I mean, that's what Walmart does.
Yeah. Yeah. I just saw my first Christmas commercial, I think last night. It's just like, oh God. I was like, oh God, it's starting.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. It's end of November.
Yeah.
Yeah, later than I thought it was. I don't know why I was thinking October.
Which is me shooting myself in Christmas.
So we talked about the good stuff about What If. Did anybody have any downsides to it? Did anybody see anything they thought was, just kind of
So I was kind of about Captain Carter, to be honest, and her whole first episode. Like, it had its moments, but I was just kind of like, okay, it's basically the same story as Captain America, the First Avenger, except it was, they were switched, and Steve had like the Iron Man suit thing.
Yeah, which was dope. I like seeing them team up and stuff. But it was kind of like the first Avenger movie. It was fun, but it's not something that you really want to dive into. It's not it's not hype producing as other things are.
Yeah,
it was a good little starter, but
it got me interested. But I was kind of just, that's cool.
Yeah.
The one that was kind of a downer for me was the zombies one.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, because
it was good, but it just wasn't as captivating to me, because it's like, okay.
It really should have been something if they could have done that, and like how DC does their animated movies, where they go balls to the walls with the gore and the violence and stuff. That's what that should have been saved for. I liked how they had kind of like they had people that survived and how they worked together. But I just, I feel like it could have been a little more. And there was like humor in there that didn't need to be there with Scott's head. So it was just
I feel like it would have been a lot better had they fleshed it out more.
Yeah, that could have been its own like animated movie.
Yeah,
I feel like they just didn't,
or series.
Yeah, I feel like they just didn't make the most of Marvel zombies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that written by Robert Kirkman?
Mm-hmm.
So, come on, Walking Dead, Marvel Zombies, and then they really didn't even touch on the fact that some of them retain their powers and know how to use them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that is where the episode lost me, because I was like,
well, they do, because you see, Wanda is still using her telekinetic.
I know that they're using them, but they don't explain how they were able to retain them.
Oh yeah.
Is what I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up actually, because in terms of moments that were a little disappointing, like I get why they did it this way, but I was hoping it was gonna be a much better moment in the last one when they brought in Scarlet Witch to fight Ultron, and she did nothing. They brought in zombie Scarlet Witch, and she did like nothing.
Yeah, and she would have put up a good fight. I think in my head, I was watching. I was like, yeah, he's just going to end that fight in that fight before it can begin, because she has the potential to wreck his stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just go ahead and destroy the whole universe. Don't even think about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was definitely a downer for me, because like you see it for like a split second and then nothing. Like it's
I think they were supposed to also have they're supposed to have like Spider-Man from that universe, like with Doctor Strange's cape on. He was supposed to show up with the Guardians of the Multiverse, and so I think they just ended up cutting that part out.
Yeah. Well, I kind of was also just, I don't know, and I wasn't too excited about it going into it. I'm curious, what did you guys feel about Thor's episode? What if Thor was an only child?
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, especially when Loki actually shows up.
Yeah.
I was like, where's this going to go? And then they just start broing out, and it's like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like the whole episode was themed around like the house party, like trope. That you'll see.
Frat boy living style type.
Well, more so like the high schooler throws a party while parents are away, and then he has to clean up
before they get caught. Yeah,
the parents are coming home. Like instead of that tomorrow, they're coming home tonight. It's like, oh crap.
That was, I was just trying to remember which episode it was that Captain Marvel showed up, and that was that one.
Well, she shows up at the end of episode 3, and
did she?
Yeah, she shows up because you see them, you see like her and Captain America fighting off the Asgardians when Natasha is sent to that universe.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 3 was where they killed off the MCU or the Marvel universe.
Where they killed off. Well, no, they killed off the Avengers before they could start before they could avenge.
Yeah. But no, I guess I don't know. In that one, it just felt like I get it, but my whole thing was I don't really. And then why is Thor better? Why is that Thor better to be chosen to defend the multiverse than like Thor, who had Loki as a brother?
I don't know. Maybe it's because of him being more just more of a looser Thor. Like you have if he didn't really have his brother challenging him to be more responsible, to be more on his toes, or to have to fight for kingship, and he was just more cut loose with his powers, and maybe that was better. I don't know.
But I mean, it's one of those things. Like, again, I understand why they did it, but it felt like it was an episode that was entirely made for it just to be comedic, and it didn't really. It didn't feel like it had a lot of substance to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, not until the end. I did like the Thor Captain Marvel fight. That was cool because that's not something we'll ever see in live action. But that was fun. But
actually, that ending was when they first actually connected it, right? That ending was actually when they technically first connected it. It was actually technically connected in What If Ultron 1, I think.
Well, yeah.
But because
no, and at the end of the Party Thor episode, that he sees Ultra Vision.
Ultron comes in.
Yeah.
That. But yeah, again, I mean, what I was saying is that's what I was saying originally. But then it's like technically that wasn't connecting to the next one until we had seen that happen in the next one, and then that connected it. So.
Right, and it's like because. Like you say, it wasn't connected at first because I was thinking they were all going to be one-off episodes,
Yeah.
And then they started connecting. And it's like, okay, where's it going? And then to be able to see how it connected and how it finished was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, were there any other in particular moments that you were underwhelmed by, or you just think could have done better?
I was kind of expecting them to have like, I don't know. I was like at the end of the third episode, I was like, okay, who else could they pick to like have as replacement Avengers since they killed off Tony, Hawkeye, Tony, Hawkeye, Thor, Hulk, and Natasha. So I was like, okay, so they have Captain America and Captain Marvel. Who else would have been active around that time? Rhodey would have been a good pick. Black Panther would have been around.
Well, Rhodey wasn't really an Avenger at that time, right?
No, but that was that scene where Iron Man and Nick Fury are in the cafe was right after the party where in Iron Man 2 where Rhodey had taken the armor.
Right. Was that when they killed him? I thought that was in the other episode. No, yeah, you're right, I guess.
Yeah. And then Black Panther was still active around that time, so they could have been like, hey, the Asgardians are taking over. You gonna help us out? And like, yeah, sure, I'll help out.
One of the things I wish they had done that I thought would be absolutely hilarious is because it was alternate timeline, alternate universe. I mean, was do the white Nick Fury, but have Samuel L. Jackson voice him. That would have been freaking hilarious.
Kind of like how he voices the character in the Boondocks.
Yeah. He voices Jin Rummy in the Boondocks.
Yeah. that would have been funny.
I didn't even think about that. I keep forgetting about. To me, like Sam Jackson is just like he's such a good Nick Fury.
Yeah.
That's why I at first I was gonna say take him out of it and do like the original one from like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, I don't want Sam Jackson not to be Nick Fury. What we do is we do the 90s Nick Fury from Spider-Man, but have Samuel L. Jackson voice him. And that to me would have been absolutely hilarious.
That would have been like a good reference, but also, Sam Jackson is still Nick Fury, and he will be until Marvel says no.
Yeah, or until he decides to motherfucking say no.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap this up, because it has been like 40 minutes, or maybe a little close. I don't know exactly how long. But before we finish. Okay, last round of questions here.
Okay.
If you could make one what if episode or one what if concept, doesn't have to be a realistic one that you expect to see in next season, but if you could just come up with the most ridiculous concept that you think would be a lot of fun, what would it be?
What if Wolverine and Deadpool switch places?
Sorry, what if Wolverine and Deadpool what?
Switch places.
Does this have to be like a potential MCU episode or like a potential what if episode?
It doesn't have to, just fun.
Okay.
If it is, it doesn't have to not be a potential episode. So it could be.
Right. I would like to see what if like two things I had in my head. If Captain America had like wielded Thor's hammer earlier, or if they had actually gone through with the World War Hulk like storyline, like because in Ragnarok it's hinted that they kind of use elements of World War Hulk in that movie, but they leave out the part of he was sent there by the Avengers and then because of something the Avengers did that he blames them and goes back to Earth to conquer it.
I just thought of another one.
I feel like that's not so much a what if, but more like what if they actually made World War Hulk?
Yeah, that too.
I just thought of another one.
I wanted to do like I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this. What if Nick Fury, which eye did he lose?
It's his left eye. I'm pretty sure it's his left eye.
Okay. What if Nick Fury lost his right eye?
Oh my God.
Or what if Nick Fury did not trust the cat and get his eye scratched out?
That would actually be a good one. Because
I can't.
Actually, I like it, but then at the same time, I don't think it would be that much of a change because he would still be a badass.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I want to see it. It's just like, what if this small little detail?
And I feel like that's something that you could easily goof on in like a show or movie anyway. Just have the eye patch on the wrong eye. Like,
Yeah.
like in movies, it's supposed to be his left eye that got cut out, but some movies will have it where they put it over his right eye by mistake.
Right.
What if Captain Marvel stayed on Earth?
Ooh.
I was thinking that one actually.
Oh, cool.
I was,
cool.
or actually, I was thinking something similar to that. But yeah.
What if the Fantastic Four actually teamed up with Doctor Doom?
Which we might get a chance to see that.
I was gonna say, did they actually do that in the comics? I feel like they did.
Like evil version of teaming up, not just teaming up because they have to. Because originally, remember when Dr. Doom originally became Dr. Doom, he told Reed, and then he was like, y'all join me together, we can change the world. And they refused, and that's why their whole thing started.
Yeah.
But what if they accepted and just went on this like evil rampage? Like, who's going to stop them?
Right.
Who's going to stop them?
Which I think that's something we could potentially see, since the Fantastic Four have a movie coming up in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty fantastic.
Yes, Hayden, it would be great.
Sorry.
I'll give you that one.
I would like to see something else with a what if with more with Thanos in it too, just because.
I don't know, man, because they kind of hit the nail on that with a lot of those episodes.
There's more. There's another story you can tell.
There's more they can do, but how much more before we get tired of it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was on a subreddit the other day, and I can't remember exactly what it was for, but it got into a whole thing about Fantastic Four puns. So it was like, I don't know, seeing Reed Richards as this, that would be a stretch.
Yeah.
And then I don't see Sue Storm as the Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, I got a hot take for you for Human Torch.
Yeah. What's the thing with Ben?
Yeah, I don't know what the thing with Ben is.
Yeah, it was all of that stuff, and it just like kept going. But it's
my brain's about to explode.
Matt does not like puns, so please find him on social media and send him all the puns.
All the puns.
I don't like bad puns.
Send him
That's
good
the only
puns,
kind of puns. Come on.
What did you say?
Bad puns are the best puns.
Yes.
No, bad puns irritate me physically.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So if I had to think of like a more legitimate what if scenario, again, I was kind of thinking the one that you said, Josh. What if Captain Marvel stayed on Earth? But oh gosh, I know I had one. What if?
Come on. You got it.
Okay, we can't really put this to the MCU because that's, it hasn't really been addressed that much anyways. But in general, what if great power did not bring great responsibility?
Mm-hmm. So Spider-Man, but he's a jerk.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man 3.
Well, no, just make Peter,
Spider-Man.
just make Peter just an evil, like just a selfish evil character.
Yeah.
Like all the rogues on his rogues gallery that are like anti-heroes, like make him like them.
So that would kind of be that's kind of just, I guess, how he is when he's infected with the symbiote, when he has the black suit on.
Not necessarily. I mean, he gets more abrasive and more aggressive, but I don't think he ever turns completely evil.
So
Yeah.
it would
But
it
more,
would
but
be.
if he
it
was
would-
more like Carnage,
I was gonna say in that case,
or like
I
just
think
a, or more just like a villain, like one of his villains that just stole and killed and
and again, I was gonna say it would probably be more like he would just he would just go with the black suit. He wouldn't
Oh yeah.
he wouldn't be have um the morals to, and the willpower, I guess, to remove it and get rid of it. He would just kind of stick with that. And honestly, I think that would be pretty awesome because Spider-Man with the black suit is like way more powerful than Venom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know if either of you have ever played the game. I think it was for PlayStation 2. Maybe it may have been more like PS3 and Xbox 360 era. Actually, that sounds more right. Web of Shadows.
I
never got a chance to play
I
that.
never got a chance to play it, but I wanted to so bad.
Yeah.
If you can, it's pretty awesome because like you get to make those choices and you basically can be Peter Parker if he decided to give in to the black suit and not give it up. Like one of the endings there, spoilers, would you prefer I not mention spoilers?
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
go ahead.
Yeah,
That game's over what?
It's been like
10 years old.
over 10 years.
Yeah. So in one of the endings, the quote bad ending, he fully embraces the suit, the black suit, and then he ends up saving Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, by using the suit to transform her and keep her alive and save her. And he basically ends up taking control of the entire like symbiote army, and it takes control of New York City, and he basically reigns over them with Black Cat that has also been transformed by the symbiote.
That would be a good one. What if Felicia and Peter got together? Because I've always been a fan of Black Cat, and it's like when you watch the original show, it's like it was right there. You could have just did that.
Right. I'm all for Felicia over MJ.
Team Felicia, I got you.
I can't.
Team Spider Cat.
Yeah, for real.
Spider Cat.
Yeah.
See, I don't prefer one over the other, but I just really like Felicia. Like there was a lot of potential there that should have been utilized and that they didn't do.
Yeah. But they can probably I think she's a Sony character, so I don't know. So may see something in the future.
Venom and Black Cat together would be cool.
I can see. I could definitely.
Eddie and Felicia, that would be dope.
I could definitely see that.
That would be dope.
But that just, we'll see. I'm sure Marvel and Sony are cooking some stuff up. Because they did mention they will be open to working together in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, you guys got any final words before we end this one?
Nope. Looking forward to Eternals and No Way Home. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Eternals yet. It's one of those things where it's just like I'd watch it, but I don't know if I really,
It's not one that you're like racing to the theater to go see.
Yeah.
That's
kind of like Black Widow. I was the same way with Black Widow.
Yeah. I kind of feel that way about. I feel that way about Shang-Chi, honestly. I still haven't seen it. I mean,
dude. All right, go see it.
Watch it.
I'm sure it's gonna be good, but it is one of those that I'm kind of like,
you don't have to be. I've told people that you don't have to be like a big MCU fan to go watch it. Just go watch it because it's a good movie and it has that Chinese that Asian
does it?
Inspiration,
Yeah.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has Chinese inspiration to it.
Like Matt said, it felt like watching like a live action anime.
Yes, that is what it felt like, and I loved it, and I would go see it again.
Sorry, is it Chinese or is it anime like?
Sorry. I mean, I don't know. There's some fantasy elements in there that I'm not
All
sure.
right, we're not here to talk about Shang-Chi and future stuff. We were talking about What If, and I believe we have wrapped our conversation up on that.
Okay, but still, go see it or watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus. It's great.
I will.
I think you'll like it. You'll like it.
But nah, no other final words other than What If season 2. I can't wait to see it. And it was a great series, and I hope they keep it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, thank y'all for having me on. It was fun.
Yeah, no problem. Hopefully, again, we're glad to have you. I hope we can get around to recording again sometime soon. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I had some ideas for some future episodes, but yeah, y'all go check us out on social media. What do we have? We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Matt's got his social media, the Saiyan Soldier Project.
Saiyan Soldier Project at YouTube, SSJ Soldier 135 on Instagram. All the links are there. Check it out. Please support these guys. They're awesome. They do an amazing job nerding out, and I'm building my story, so y'all go check it out.
All right. Awesome. All right. See you guys next time, and nerd out.
Nerd out.
Nerd out.